G'day and welcome back to the OPL Week 9, day number 2. We are 1-1 between the Chiefs and Order, which means, unfortunately, for Chiefs Esports Club fans, they will be finishing the season in second place. They will have to play in the gauntlet next week. And Direwolves fans rejoice everywhere. Not only did you get your perfect season, you got the perfect ending. You're top of the table again.
Yeah, your conundrum at the end of the show yesterday doesn't come in. They finished first with the undefeated season. Yeah, it's close. Like, imagine if Chiefs actually 2-0'd and then, like, yeah, Direwolves undefeated but don't finish first. That's nutty.
Yeah, it certainly is. I'm still Jake, joined by Bryce. And I want to ask you a question. All things considering the same, is this Anivia pick going to change the series? Or is it as simple as get rid of it or don't blind pick Rise and just sort it out somewhere else?
I think, in all honesty, I'd be backing Chiefs to take this game. Okay. And that might upset you. No, because
we're locked in third place.
The Anivia was kind of like, yeah, that won them the game. So we've absolutely 100% MVP performance. But if you think back to 5 minutes in that game, suddenly Chiefs outplay Order top side. Yep. They get good engage bot side, and they're just winning across the map. If Anivia wasn't in mid, they weren't on that clock, then I feel like as we see it hit the bench, then Chiefs kind of are set up for a similar game one where they have the advantage early. Yep. And it's just on them to be able to close it out.
I absolutely agree. I will say the window top lane was generated from the fact there was a Nivea in a game. You can't leave lane as a Nivea 1 to 5. She actually does less than nothing. It is bad. However, let's get into this champion select. Stop talking about game 2. We got a third game on our hands, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be Galio and Nivea as well as Varus banned away. Same bans from Order all series.
Do they ban Xayah?
Cassio. Do they ban the Xayah? Do they ban the Syndra?
Up for debate.
Impactful.
Yeah, obviously Roma Syndra game 1. No, they banned the Syndra. So Chiefs. Wouldn't surprise me if they just take the Xayah again.
Here. I mean, Quinny K is like, how many times are you going to give it to me? How many times do I have to beat you with it?
Here it is. This is it once again. Spooks doesn't seem too happy with that one. Looking pretty rough. Trying to keep himself away.
This is an exact replica of Game 1 draft so far, apart from the bans. So it's going to be potentially a Rise. What did we say else? Braum? No, we saw...
No, it was Skarner. It was Skarner. 100% Skarner.
I was just listing all the champions of the game and hoping I struck gold eventually.
Yeah, all the blue ones, you know. Skarner's pretty blue. Yep. But it's going to be Fiddlesticks.
How have we not seen that one?
What a pick. What a pick. I feel like I actually do a cube with Spooks, and he played Fiddlesticks on my team, and we won that game. So it's got a 100% win rate in the games I've seen it recently. It's OP. It's probably not going to lock it in, though.
Funnily enough, he kept telling me that he wanted to play it and that it was going to work.
And he hasn't played it, so it hasn't worked.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's got to be the Ezreal,
that man
not the
on your
Skarner.
screen is to thank for that. So Ezreal was the 80 carry pickup in game number 1, so they still haven't changed anything. Rakan picked up Viper Bip.
And this is where they
what mid laners are up? Talia?
Yeah.
Azir. Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Big one into Rise. Roma has had a good few performances on that one, so very strong composition already picked up by either side.
That's some scaling.
FBI going back to the Ezreal.
And do they just take Skarner here? Do they just round it out? Do they
go
Gangplank?
Ooh. 2 games in a row, Chiefs have hit it with a second phase ban, so they preemptively do it here.
And we will have history. Because Raze is undefeated on Xayah.
Okay.
Tally is undefeated on Gangplank. One of them will lose.
Let's find out. Let's find out. They're going to ban away Swiper's answers into the Gangplank. I feel like he doesn't actually have too many. He's not the kind of player to play the real cheesy things like
And they're gone. Actually, they hit him with the respect ban on the Camille, so they want him to place high on this game.
Yep. Want the carry versus tank matchup, of course.
Cho'Gath as well is something Swiper plays, and it's pretty good into carries because you just eat them.
Yep, you do. If you ever find yourself ahead, if they find themselves low, you one-shot them. Also has so much sustain to get through lane phase, just eating up the creeps. You will be pushed in once you get a few levels on the GP, but...
Ooh, that's the adaptation.
Yeah.
So because they took Gangplank, they no longer get Braum, which has definitely been the best response here. However, Alistar is still available. Morgana, Janna.
Yeah, this is hard. Because you can play the Braum and you can deny the setup from the Xayah. If Chiefs lock in, Order lock in the Skarner here, as they do, what does Rogue play? You can't play something super aggressive like the Thresh. That's already banned away. And if you play a finesse matchup like the Janna, like the Morgana, I feel like the proactivity is still in the Chiefs' court. We've seen it time and time again. It's a very difficult matchup to try and get yourself through. As very standard picks coming out of the Chiefs. This is just a classic composition. You have the scaling in the Azir. You have a strong bottom lane, Xayah Rakan. You just have a tanky top jungle matchup. So nothing too special.
On the Order lineup, you got scaling out of your 3 carry roles instead of a tank. You got a Gangplank.
And it's going to be the Taric.
That is a good lock-in, I feel. Katarina, not so much.
It will be the Tara. 3 seconds. Got to lock that one in. So it's good. It is difficult, though. This will be a double tier user in the bot lane versus Zyra Khan once again.
That is a very difficult lane to navigate. I don't think anything beats Zyra Khan, however.
Yep.
I think that this is order. And obviously, I have no idea. Like, outside perspective.
Yep.
Obviously.
Obviously.
This is just order saying that there are too many parts of the map that we have to attack. We really think Ryoma is a carry. So when that is the case,
throw bans at him.
You get your best champions everywhere else, which Chiefs arguably have.
Swiper on the Scion once again. Big tanky top laner into the GP. But that's the thing that kind of throws the spanner into the works. This is the gangplank tally. Hasn't seen it for a few weeks here, but has himself that pickup again. We've seen Chippies be so successful yesterday.
Played it against Chippies, actually, 2 weeks ago, and won that in game number 2. Was the last time we saw him play it.
So going to be super interesting here. As I was talking about the bot lane, Zyra Khan into the Ezreal Taric. Double tier user. They both hit that trough. And Taric is, he has the safety, but it's on a delayed cooldown. If you get the proactive ganks, which Babip has been able to find time and time again, even on the Lee Sin, didn't look too good at the end of the game, but his early game was getting advantages there for the Chiefs, and Zyra Khan could just pull the trigger like that. They can just go as soon as they want to. So you're looking to see, once again, the bottom lane of Order try and weather the storm.
And at the same time, was it really Babip's fault? Like, people are going to be like, he played Lee Sin, what a troll.
It didn't work.
He got 2 kills topside of the map for his Gnar and his Rise, and then the lanes proceeded to fall apart. And then he did what all good Lee Sin players do when his team is behind, and intentionally fed. Because as soon as you look for a play, if it is not the 100% correct play, you instantly die. That you can't get tanky as Lee Sin, Bryce. It's like when you're running around on Thresh and your whole team is behind. If you hook someone, they can just cleanse it and kill you, and you're like, I look like an idiot now for making the right play. What I'm trying to say is I don't think Babip made the wrong play.
I agree with you. Swiper right now, not looking too confident, but I have to say, Lee Sin players everywhere are just hating you right now. That was so succinctly accurate.
I played more Lee Sin than any other champion in League of Legends.
Okay.
You are fantastic until level 11.
Yep.
Then you suck. And then if the game goes 50 minutes,
you can make the one miracle play.
You're the god of the team. You get all the honors.
Yeah, but we have to see as the camera's kind of panning across all the players. Chiefs looking pretty somber, honestly. They're a team, especially this man in the mid lane, Ryoma. Very emotional player, very confidence-based player. So coming into game 1 would be feeling very good after that complete domination over Order. But with that return pick up, with the equalization of the series here, Order looking in much higher spirits going into game number 3.
Yeah, you can see right now FBI is talking to a referee. We'll see whether it is game impacting. You can see Spooks kind of playing with his hair. That is a luscious fringe right now. Has a big yawn as well.
Yeah, needs to wake up.
Curly whites.
Needs to wake up for game number 3. He's trying to wake. He's done that eye, like been widening his eyes, trying to keep himself up across the pause.
And it's a real challenge at the moment. As more sports psychologists, like sports psychology comes into esports, there is a fine line between being overstimulated and being understimulated. So what all players try and do is they're trying to play at the perfect amount. And if you get overhyped, your hands get a little bit shaky, you maybe
missing Lee Sin cues.
Yeah, or you like make a play that you wouldn't normally make because you're not thinking the same way and you're not taking the calculated play, you're just riding the emotion. And then sometimes if you're underhyped, you just kind of crap.
Yeah, you just don't.
So, like, I feel like this is becoming a very fine line to run in esports as a whole. And we saw the Chiefs looking very somber, and we saw Order, like, honestly, their jungler looked sleepy. So both teams kind of trying to run it.
Yeah, trying to ride on opposite sides of the line right now. Swiffer was looking pretty happy. But we are actually going to get into game number 3. Chiefs versus Order. They were able to equalize the series here, but both teams trying to pick up the 3rd win here. Chiefs actually going potentially topside? No. Walking back down bot.
Look exactly where Ezreal is running. This is friggin' hilarious.
Straight down bot lane.
Do you know why he's standing there?
He wants a Klepto stack.
No.
No? For the Scion. Okay,
because Scion killed him game 1. So he's like, you can have all of the crappy spires. I don't need those things.
But this is a good adaptation out of Chiefs. They know.
Going helicopter.
Oh, barely misses.
And just
he does it again.
The helicopter again.
Because this is nice. They know they pulled this strategy off game 1 with Scion cheesing the level 1 bot bush. So FBI goes all the way down there. So they can commit to the top side. They look for a play onto Spooks. It doesn't cost them anything, and they don't get an advantage, but they looked for the opportunity. So very nice preparation coming into game 3 here. Spire is going to be taken on opposite sides of the map by the alternating teams here. Order get bot side, Chiefs get top. Everything back to normal.
And I feel like both teams have a fairly good composition this game. However, what I will say is the Chiefs' comp is just way more straightforward. We talk about ease of execution a lot. It's really easy to play 2 hyper-scaling carries with engage in every other role.
And big front line, yep.
Yeah, that's how I wish most of my solo queue teams drafted, in fact. However, Order have got like hyper-scaling mid and top lane, you know, very good scaling AD carry, invulnerability for a couple of seconds on the Taric, and very good pick on Spooks, but to piecemeal that all together, the boxes you're ticking off to try and make that work is much more complex than Scion ulti run at an enemy.
Significantly harder here. We're probably at some stage going to see the carries from Chiefs have to pay the Skarn attacks as well, something to think about, especially with the spikes coming out from these champions. Going to have to pay the 1,300 to get the QSS to have that extra safety.
And interesting, it actually will hurt the tanks as well at a certain point. Because if a tank gets plucked, they will get blown up this game. This isn't a game where there's 2 carries that won't necessarily kill them. There's a very nice stun lands there. However, Destiny dives in response, takes some return damage. Oh, also a nice throw to Q.
But as you were mentioning, yes, they have 3 damage dealers. They have a Gangplank, Ryze, and Ezreal. So suddenly, Skarner ulting onto the Sejuani, break the passive. She becomes vulnerable. Onto the Scion. He can't ulti away from anything. He can't land his CC. Suddenly, those guys can be blown up just 30% quicker than they normally would be.
And I talked about it a little bit, but I watched this cool comp that had Ryze Swain in it in the LPL. And the thing that surprised me was they actually deliberately used CC on a tank, ripped him forward with the Swain passive, and just blew them up because they got ahead early enough in the game. And I was like, why don't we see that with things like Skarner and things like... And it's because the execution is hard. If you don't calculate it well and you drag a Scion into your team, you look like an idiot if he doesn't die. Because that's where he wants to be.
We saw AV yesterday in their 58-minute game versus the Dire. Well, Schoenfire was getting plucked time and time again with the Swain rip. So we have seen it a little bit. Obviously, different champions without having the Swain. It's harder to execute. You have to commit more with the Skarner ulti and things like that.
See, potential dive coming up in this top lane. One thing we always compliment Scion players and being able to do is push in hard, and they have CC for the dive, not to mention the undead passive. Whilst not ideal, lends itself to the dive very well.
Especially getting dives, because naturally, when you get dived and you die, you just 100% of the time get a trade kill. You get a return.
Yeah, that's
you can just,
pure mathematics.
It's just how it works.
Even if you're against some great top laners like Mimic, that is just how it works. However,
Spooks is in behind him a bit.
That's going to be Swiper thinking he's so safe. Get slowed down, will get stunned up. Do they have the damage? You can see they're trying to get in front of him. Do they flash to continue? No, they just take the flash. Now Babip is here. Swiper looking for the knockup. Will not be able to get there in time. And now Babip's in a little bit of trouble. He's going to get stunned up. Potentially this is going to be the second summoner spell.
Swiper has no flash.
Swiper, no flash, goes back in, tries to save him. That's going to be Spooks going forward. That's a flash auto. Burn is there. First blood for Tally. Second blood for Spooks. And no return is here in response. Can they slow him down? Swiper really wants a return kill. Spooks is getting pummeled. The last auto does not register.
We almost had the return kill for Swiper. The zombie passive, but very nice play out of Order. But Bip was in the enemy top lane. You said Swiper thought he was safe.
Spooks. Whoa.
He was completely fine. He was doing the golems. He thinks there's no pressure. Spooks can't be up here, but he wraps through the vision. Gets in behind the Siren. They burn both flashes. First blood to the Gangplank. Second blood to Spooks on the Kha'Zix. Complete reversal of what happened in Game 2.
And trust me, Tally is a big fan of Gangplank. And obviously, I spend more than my fair share of time with Tally at the moment. Lovely chap. He tells me, and maybe he's wrong, but this is what he says. As long as you get Sheen first back, Gangplank is actually the best top laner in the game.
Okay, and he's done it.
Without Sheen, he sucks. With Sheen, apparently godlike status. And he has managed to do it. And I would say that was because the Chiefs kind of chased a loss.
Yes.
Swiper was out. However, Swiffer now is going to be engaged on by Destiny. Nice route is there, and Spooks returns the favor.
And exactly right, but Bip kind of called Swiper over down into the river around that wall. And that's something you don't really think about. Flash distance, especially around terrain, means so much. If you have to walk the long way, and Spooks can flash over the wall, which is exactly what happened. He got over Swiper, flashed onto the Sejuani, they pick up that kill, and they can turn back onto Swiper as well. So they commit too far down to the river, despite Swiper being down the flash. And it bites him in the ass kind of twofold.
Because it gave him a blue buff as well. Like, let's talk about, like, Swiper is up 15 CS. That is very nice. But the fact that he got a blue buff, that he's going to be able to do this, sustain through an annoying tank matchup, time and time again, He's going to get cued in the head repetitively.
Oh,
Actually,
Sedge
they're
behind,
going for this. Babip is just going to be able to get onto Tally. No W available and will fall down. Very nicely played by the Chiefs.
And they give it over to Swiper as well. Babip holds his last auto attack. They give that one to the Scion, so matching the kills and now 20 CS up. Tally TP back to the lane after that previous play, so he's going to lose this entire wave. I was
going to mention that as well, and they're going to get big damage down. And Swiper, just with the experience lead, because he got his teleport back onto the creep wave, is going to be huge. That's just disrespectful from Tally. He wanted to queue him some more, when really he should have been focusing on catching waves.
This game has been the story of the top laners. Getting snuck behind with the junglers. Spooks was the first one to get in behind Swiper, but Bip returns the favor, but advantage going over to the Chiefs right now. Gold lead is a little bit in favor of Order, as they're going to steal away a bit of a red buff. This bot lane has been very stable so far. This is a good sign for Order's bottom lane in the Zyra Khan. They've kind of got Ezreal to his tier. Taric not quite there yet, but going for the early defense of the Targon.
Flash is available for both Ryze as well as Skarner. This was the first lane I really saw Skarner played with, and I thought it was bloody petrifying because the Ryze flash forward snares you for 2 seconds, and then Skarner just walks up to you and grabs you. Chilling Smite has only made that worse.
Yep.
And then you get dragged so far back that even if you are able to get away, as Ryoma goes in, looks for the Shurima Shuffle, will find it. That's going to be a Gangplank ulti. You can see Swiffer is just kind of dancing around, still has that flash available, is looking to trade, walks back in, and so much damage done there.
Burns both summoners from Ryoma. The GP ulti slowing him down. Swiffer actually held his flash. Played it very cool the entire time. They didn't have the damage to actually finish him off here. I think level 6 will be proccing for Destiny very soon. Posturing up in this lane, looking for something.
Yeah, looking very aggressive, and I think that FBI and Rogue just need to play respectfully. They cannot do what Tally did and give away their advantage, because right now they are up in CS, and you would say they are winning the lane. However, with eyes on Destiny, no, he's not yet level 6.
Not to mention, Zyra Khan can snowball much harder than you think a Scion will topside.
Absolutely.
The lane, incredibly volatile. Raze has actually gone for an interesting base. He's gone for the Berserker's Greaves first. Hasn't backed like we saw in the previous game, gone for the BF sword or anything like that. Had a little bit less gold and just wants the move speed, the attack speed. Because Berserkers are really good value. They give so much attack speed. If you can't afford a Zeal or a BF, then next best option.
Not only that, their movement speed is the best defensive stat in the game. If they're pegging skill shots at you, then movement speed is the only thing that will mitigate all of it.
And it makes so much sense against the Taric, who's sitting on no boots right now. So the move speed differential is what matters between Raze and Rogue, because he should really, unless he misplays heavily, Raze should be able to dodge that time and time again. If he plays on the edge of that skill shot, he should be completely fine down here.
And if anyone can do it, it's Raze. I mean, as far as nuanced little interactions, does it better than anyone. FBI and Rogue are known for all-inning and killing someone. They're a hammer. Raze at times is the scalpel.
Oh, okay. I was wondering which utensil you were going with.
Yeah, scalpel. That's a finesse tool.
Yeah,
Surgeons use them.
I agree.
I'm glad you agree.
But Spooks kind of tracking towards mid lane. Roma actually just dashed forward. Spooks has flash and he's here as well.
However, that is a very nice wall. Is there enough movement speed? Because as I mentioned, they've still got that stupid blue smite, and they will be able to pick up a kill here in the mid lane.
Roma, no summoners as well. Still down from the last time. So both flashes expended by Order, but they do get the kill. That's going to be lots of priority from them, especially since Chiefs bot lane, they did recall as well, so they can take complete control of bot side. Spooks goes top as well. Swift is actually the one doing the counter jungling right now.
Yep. They're just trying to deny Babip as much as possible because he's put the jungle on speed farm. You see right now, finally Tally's starting to play a little bit more the way we see Gangplank played into these matchups. Sitting at his turret, collecting farm. Always nice to see.
We see Swiper kind of very barely extending his CS lead now up to 25, and I think that's why we saw Spooks track up topside and Swiffer go down. Because they didn't know where Babip was on the map. So he goes top and he gets like around the Scuttle Crab. He was not available at the time, but he places some wards down. And they're trying to defend the top laner. Of course, GP kind of measure its success about the ability to defend off dives, because eventually teams that are good at punishing it will want to be diving that one.
Well, the thing about GP is if you get to about 20 minutes and he has, you know, negative 20 farm, he's equal. What you expect to see is him dead, no turret, sitting in his base, licking his wounds. But unfortunately in the OPL, it just does not happen that way, Bryce.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Actually, worldwide, it just hasn't happened that way this year. Let's be realistic. It's not just us. We're not alone.
Yeah.
Even the Koreans just ban it now.
Get rid of him.
Well, he's just like... Anivia is a relaxing champion, Bryce.
We were having this conversation because I really like interviewing. I like seeing new stuff.
Yeah.
But if she was meta every single
She'll
game,
be your GP.
people are just like resident sleepering. Like literally every time she's picked when she's meta, just like, man, like why do we see Anivia again? Froggen, like season what? Season 3? Just like farming 70 bajillion CS, building warmogs and just stupid stuff.
Ooh, this is really interesting. I was talking about when your jungle and mid lane were different
Types of damage.
Thank you. I'm really struggling because I'm trying to watch the screen at the same time. However, Swiffer has the bonus of Swiper doing about 50% magic damage as well, which is why he goes towards the Abyssal Mask. He's going to get himself Merg Treads as well as Abyssal Mask. That is so much value against the entirety of the Chiefs' composition apart from Raze.
It's the only one. They have the triple AP topside. So being able to invest in that one early means just extra safety for the Ryze, because he's one of the tankier mages mid lane. Of course,
he
goes
is the tanky mage.
Rod of Ages.
Like Galio's a tank. He's not a mage anymore.
Yep.
As we see, that flash cooldown is going to be back up and available quite soon for Swiffer. There was a window where Ryoma could look to punish with the Streamer Shuffle. Will not happen, however. Tally got his Trinity Force and teleported back to lane. So, right now, Order need to make sure they don't get cross-mapped, I think is a big thing. No, Swiper burns his... I think that's... So the thing we talk about is the ultimate from Swiper can get him back top lane, and he probably gets half the way. Don't know if I agree with the teleport.
But he burns the TP, and that's the thing I was going to say. Stylistically, this match, last 2 games, Chiefs have been making the proactive plays. We're only 12 minutes in. It is still early game. Lane phase is still going on, but they have made moves by now. So game number 3, you have to think this does favor Order. They have the GP scaling up, the Ryze, Ezreal as well. It's slightly matched by the Azir, but this looks different than the Chiefs we've seen. No dragons have been taken. It is going to be the Mountain first up, so... tracking later into the game with the Baron buffs, that will be relevant.
Yeah,
but
this is a teleport coming in. That's an ultimate use from Spooks. He's going to grab, looks like Destiny, and they're going to look to blow him up. Spooks gets back in the ulti in time, and now they will change their focus to Vapip. In comes Big Swifts. Vitaly, he's a stay-at-home top laner, and that ultimate was used, but that's a 1-kill advantage for Order.
And that's the thing. Chiefs haven't been making these plays, so Order have got to a point where they can. Spooks, on his ulti cooldown, has been able to make a play. He's gone mid. Killed Ryoma when he had no summoners, so he soloed out the Rift Herald topside. He's going to go bot, makes a play, gets a kill, gets the dragon as well. Very slowly, Order are just getting themselves leads upon leads in this game.
What is the opposite of a confidence team?
I don't know. Because I know what you mean, though.
Here's a theory, right? This is a crap one for you. Order won game 1 versus Legacy.
Yep.
They lost.
Yep.
They won game 1 versus Direwolves. They lost. They lose game 1 versus Chiefs.
That's the strat.
And now they're in the driver's seat.
Why didn't they do it versus...
the opposite of a momentum-based team?
I don't have the word for you, mate. Why couldn't they do it against Direwolves?
I have absolutely no idea.
Yeah.
My theory falls down. Why didn't they do it the other 6 weeks where they 2-0'd?
Yeah, wasn't TSM the NA team that were just always in best of 3s? They dropped first game
1.
And then they just absolutely stopped game 2 and 3.
TSM fans came up with some crazy theories about it. They were like, this is the game they use to test out strats.
Path is a genius.
Yeah,
like,
they don't get to warm up properly. Like, they're too calm when they had all this stuff. And then TSM was like, nah, we don't even know what it was. We just suck in game 1s.
It's like an English teacher, you know, reading way too far into a book. Yeah. And you're like, come on, man, like the curtains are just blue. Like, that's all they are. They're just a bunch of blue curtains. They were the cheapest ones. They were on the sale rack. And that's why I bought them.
In this game, 2,200 gold lead scaling. Damage-wise is on the side of Order. However, cannot underrate the Chiefs' beefy frontline plus Azir. There's just a staple comp that we've seen for so long. You were interested to see if Ryze's bounce damage or radius would affect his farming. What have you think?
It really hasn't, because the spread from his E got halved by 50%, but the base damage went up. So from what we've seen so far, Ryze seems to be pretty much just the same champion.
It was. I want to tell the viewers at home, this was so funny, because Ejim goes, "Hey, Ryze's spread is 50% radius," and I'm like, "Okay." He's like, "Does that impact his farming?" I was like, "I don't know. I don't play Ryze." He was like, "I don't play Ryze either." And then I was like, why don't we just jump in a custom game and see? And then we sat there for like 5 minutes as Spooks is actually zooming in on Ryoma right now. However, Babip is in his back pocket and we'll just scare him away. And the conclusion we came to was because we don't play Ryze, we don't have a comparison point. We have no idea what we're doing in custom games.
I was like, look, I could test this, but I'm too bad, so I'll just watch a VOD. It's 20 times easier.
Oh, actually, they go in. They want the 2v2. However, Ryoma gets pegged, and now Flash is going to be used, and Ryoma is taking so much damage. Bot lane is here. Swiffer doesn't have... No, he does have Flash, but doesn't choose to use it, and flashes into a wall afterwards. Very nicely played out of Destiny and Raze to get up into this mid lane and now look for first turret.
And that's the tale of two flashes. Spooks respects the Azir ulti, and he gets out of the play. He lives on the end of that one, but Swiffer not willing to preemptively burn the flash, so Destiny doesn't even have to use his own. Locks him down, and then he eventually just flashes into a wall, as you say. He dies. They lose the mid lane turret.
That could be the swing play. All of a sudden, no summoner spells available on jungler and mid lane. They get first brick. However, looks like Tally will be able to respond in kind into this top lane, and the gangplank is starting to ramp up.
It is. Gold lead still, despite that play, is in favor of Order, but you have to think fair amount of that will be...
Herald.
Yep. Oh, what the... Okay.
That is awesome. That is like a movie where they're flooring it around a corner. They 180 out of control, and he just kicks it into reverse.
That's... That was interesting. That was really weird. But if we take a look at these two comps, right? Yep. Because this is what Chiefs need to do. We talk about the scaling on the lineup of Order. They have the Rise, the GP, the Ezreal, things like that. Chiefs, even if they do not have the scaling, they have the ability to pull the trigger on one play. They have Rakan ulti, Sion ulti, Sedge ulti. You saw Ryoma actually engage that one with a Shurima shuffle. They're so ult reliant. If they get an engage, if they pick off a carry onto Swiffer, onto Tally, onto FBI, if they get that initial pick, we've seen Raze in teamfights 4v5ing on Xayah. If they get that pick, he will take over the game. So that's just what they need, but Order need to be staving it off. They need to not be greedy here, like Swiffer just was. They want to play the 1-3-1 again. They have the scaling. They want to play the map.
Yep. They want to, yeah, you're literally right. They want to play PvE League of Legends. They want to get Swiffer back into a matchup versus Swiper. And then he's going to be pinned down. Then, if Azir ever matches Gangplank, Gangplank will kill Azir. And has turret dive potential because Sterix is a really strong melee AD item.
Not to mention, he also has global threat. If you put Azir into a Gangplank or anything like that, that's why Syndra, Azir champions like this, they can't match to the side lane. They want to catch a wave, and then they just want to go mid. They want to group up with their team.
They want to be there when the fight starts.
Yep, 100%. They need that setup time. Whereas GP, he's
They're going for it again. You see Swiffer looking for the play. They drop the ultimate on Ryoma this time. They grab Babip because he has Flash. However, they will get the stun. Ryoma going over does so much damage, but he pushes Swiffer onto his team. Ultimate will come down and will get there just in time. But all hell has broken loose. Raze on the back end is doing so much damage. Tally finally joins, is looking for Ryoma. We'll be able to pick him up, and the fight will continue. Raze is out of dodge. Swiper is so incredibly tanky, but no flash is available, and eventually he will be cut down, and it will be a 2-for-3. Raze, no, that's not Raze, that's FBI, continues forward and will get himself a red buff. But that was the first 5v5 we saw. Yeah,
and it comes out Order's favor. Will be the 3-for-2. They pick up the mid lane. The complete top side of the map for the Chiefs goes down. Both bot lanes, that was the tail of this fight here. Both bot lanes arrive at the same time. You see Destiny goes in, gets a 4-man engage. But Rogue on the back end, 4-man Cosmic Radiance. We see the start. Order are committing onto Babip, and the entire time, Ryoma's just hitting onto Swiffer, and he throws him into Destiny as they arrive. Swiper lands on the top side as well. Tally is late, but he's GP, so he's already rocked down that ulti. We saw the ultis from the supports, both coming in clutch, honestly. Very nice engage, but as you mentioned, Raze just doing so much damage. And at this point, Swiper has no flash. Stuns coming through. The consistent damage out of the members of Order at this time is just too much. Raze is too low HP to try and contest because FBI can do that. He can dash forward over the wall. He can close the gap, and if Raze steps up, he would have gone down.
And that's what I was going to say. The chunk onto Raze there from FBI and Rogue actually won that fight, because if those three members are left up and alive, there is no tank for Order. There's just two damage threats, and, you know, whatever the heck Rogue does after his ult.
He does damage out of all the supports, honestly. His auto attacks, he's whacking away. Constant stun, shields.
However, if Raze was full health, certainly would have been able to put in work.
Just stand and
Feathers
deliver.
is just so strong at this stage of the game. However, he wasn't there. See, Dragon was picked up during all of that conversation.
Yep, so we'll be matched. Side to side,
Barrel going to land here, potentially. It does land, and that's going to be Ryoma taking so much damage. He goes in, but gets deleted. They now turn on to Babip. In comes the Sion Train, and that will be a big ulti out of Destiny, but he is also very, very low. Raze now gets here first. One more time. Featherstorm is used, but now he's going to be locked down. No flash is available. Yeah, he does have flash. Flashes sideways. Very nicely played. However, that is a 1-for-0 pick.
And Order find the pick onto Ryoma, and Raze was not there at the start. He's constantly walking down from topside. So there's just no damage. Swiper goes in. Destiny could engage again, but there's just no damage to follow it up. That's another pick for Order. They equalize the mid lane turrets. 3-1 now, but the outer ring just gone.
And you can tell this game is for nothing. No seeding. It's just for a 2-1. But it means so much. Swiffer and
confidence.
Spooks are attacking the members that replace them on the Chiefs Esports Club. They are going time and time again at Babip and Ryoma. And you've got, what, 5-3 versus 1-5 on the response.
So it's a good scoreline here as we check in with the gold tally on the GP. Sitting pretty even, has a few kills now, sitting 2,000 gold above his counterpart. That's the game plan, that's the klepto. That is literally the gold lead. 3K spread out across the rest of the team. Spooks has yet to buy a bunch of that, but
everyone else has got like a pickaxe or like something like that. Literally, he's got like nearly another completed
It's
item.
him and Swiffer. Tally and Swiffer are the two members that are ahead. Tally 2K, Swiffer just under right now. Obviously has 3 kills to 1 and a 20 CS lead, so that one's coming through. Chiefs are trying to match the run-through as best as they can right now, but because Azir is in such a hole, he's an item down already, hasn't even finished his Seraphs. Matching the side lane just sucks, and we saw this game once.
Let him have his Krugs.
We know which way this one goes.
Just let him have his Krugs.
They're not even good anymore, because it's not like they give you like 12 CS or 16, whatever it was. Now it just gives you 4.
But they give you a lot of gold.
But because Swiper was just like, oh, it gives a little bit of XP, but my numbers look real good.
Yeah.
It looks like I'm keeping up.
He's looking for the dregs. He's like, did he leave me the little ones at least?
Give me 4. Unfortunately not. Swiffer standing on top of a ward. Swiper, Roar of the Slayer, hits him in the face, but does absolutely no damage.
However, no blue buff for Swiffer means he will go in this matchup. We'll get knocked up here. We'll take a lot of damage if that shield explodes, which it does. Takes half his health.
It absolutely does. Order on the top side of the map right now. Spooks potentially looking for a pick, but they have control around the Baron. The Crab is in favor of Chiefs, but they're just trying to contest this vision. Sweeper comes out from Destiny.
Spooks is going to run into 4 members. He's going to get ultied up straight away, but will fall down before it completes. That is a big ulti coming from FBI, but that is the first time the pick lands and the Cosmic Radiance doesn't save him.
And that's Swiffer immediately leaving bot side. He knows he can't contest. He has to walk top side. For Chiefs, if they set up around the Baron. Spook's dead for 30 seconds, but no, he just goes back bot. The vision is enough, and Tally has the push on top side. This is the 1-3-1 versus the 1-4.
They also had to use their 2 engage ults. So there's no way they can set up Baron right now, but the good thing is it stalls the game. They've got an Azir. They've got a Xayah. They're not worried about going late. They actually want the game to eventually get there. Potentially Azir doesn't want to build QSS, so at 5 items, he's fine. At 6 items, he's a little bit torn.
Yeah.
But in reality, if you can get to a backline Azir, as good as Ryoma is at the champion, you probably deserve to win the game as a Skarner.
If they can get a front-to-back team fight, they have the 2 and 3. They have the double front line. They have the consistent damage from Raze and Ryoma. That's what Chiefs want. They can get to that 5-item stage, 6-item stage, and they could potentially win a fight like that.
Do you want to hear something cool you can do with these 3 champions, though?
Okay, hit me with it.
You group up and Rise ultis, and you Cosmic Radiance Skarner.
And he just zooms in.
No, he just takes a Rise ulti.
Realm Warp, yeah. We saw that actually this morning, TSM. I saw a Bjergsen Realm Warps, and Mike Young just goes into the back line, picks up a Caitlyn.
Yeah.
That's the creative stuff.
With Cosmic Radiance, because you get the stun off the back end of it and all kinds of cool stuff, it is actually, like, it is hilarious.
And it's also, like, there's very little counterplay.
Yeah.
Because he's invulnerable when he goes through. Yeah. He can stun off the back of the Impale as well.
It was like, did you see the Zac that went through?
Oh, yeah. And immediately picks someone up in LCK.
That was cool.
Yeah. Those interactions, when they get figured out, are so cool. It's just the new stuff.
Well, they're the interactions that I was hoping would be named. You watched the dive, obviously. They were like, why don't they name any plays cool stuff anymore? I was actually looking for a play here. Like, where's the insect? Where's the Messiah? Like, that stuff is the cool stuff. Like, whoever did the Zac play, that deserves to be called whatever, like, I don't know, the score or whatever.
Whoever figured out the Hex Splash Zac. What's his one called?
Oh, yeah, that's called the Exploit. The band. As it's a 5,200 gold lead right now. Swiffer just running around, double fisting some needlessly large rods. Checking with the rest of the items. IE nearly picked up. And funnily enough, Ryoma is about to hit a huge spike when he picks up Seraphs. Because he had to go for a snowballed Void Staff just to keep up with damage against Adaptive Helm and Abyssal Mask. But that will be such a leap up when he gets the transformation, because it will be instantly, as well as all the additional AP.
is that one ward that Order haven't swept out. They got 3 pinks in the river. But they're just standing on top of a ward right. Oh, the scrying blow misses. No.
What dragon just spawned?
Rogue, what have you done?
Ocean. That's why he's not going towards it.
Yeah, okay. They moved their pink, so they spotted out. This is kind of the sketchy part for Chiefs. They're going to have to kind of contest at some point.
Is he on vision? He must be in a brush, because otherwise you just would not send him back. Does get here very quickly. However, Swiper
he burns the
ulti.
Thought he was going to get stunned. It actually missed, but burns the ulti anyway.
The time to start it up, I feel. They've got 2 members on it. They can swing as many members as they want. Spooks does take a lot of damage. Should be getting healed.
They can burn it.
5,000 health. Can they burn it? 3,500 health. 2,000 health. It is gone. Do they get out or do they fight? Ultimate has been dropped. They run in. They grab Rakan. And he is gone. Engaged threat no longer there. And 4 members get into that Rise ult we spoke about. And they're able to pick off Raze. 2 members dead. And Order is looking to continue the fight. Swiper will be able to get out of dodge. Babip flirting with danger.
Does get the root there, but very nice, slow, methodical play out of Order. They do their due diligence. They get the vision around the Baron. Chiefs have to face check eventually, and Destiny just dies immediately. The Baron goes down. Sejuani, you mentioned the base. He wasn't on vision, but he does not make it back to the fight anyway because they just pull the trigger. So, Order get themselves a Baron, potentially looking to break open the game. The gold lead extends even further right now.
This is a gold lead Baron because they didn't group up as 5 and push mid lane turret with Raze and Destiny dead. They immediately sent Swiffer top, immediately sent Tally bottom because they had 2 huge side waves. They're going to grab themselves a dragon at the same time. It will be 3 turrets, maybe 2 turrets actually as Tally backs away from his. And should be able to get a big purchase in here and now look to have a commanding position on this game. It's an 11,000 gold lead.
And that's the thing. Suddenly this was like a 5-6k gold lead. And they just jumped up to 11 in the last couple of minutes of play. 27 minutes has been 15 kills, but a fairly slow game for both of these teams. Chiefs uncharacteristically haven't been opting into these plays. Swiper TPing back top means he can't get things done bottom early. And then Tally, sitting on the GP, just wants to match. Still has the stopwatch. That's kind of the marker for a slow and steady game.
Yep.
When you have that coming online at 10 minutes, and he's been sitting on that for 18 minutes and has yet to use it.
They got 1 gank on him, and they put him in a 20-30 CS hole. And I honestly thought they could have actually punished the gangplank this game. However, they responded to the camp that Spooks was putting on mid lane because they wanted Ryoma to be that late game threat. But honestly, Ryoma has been a null factor for the Chiefs in these last 2 games. Game 1, he was terrific on the Syndra. But since that pick has been gone, really, the threat has looked like it has been Raze and Destiny as a whole.
And that's what they're doing. Skarner targeting the Rakan. He doesn't have a QSS yet. He's got the null magic, so might be heading into it after that last pick.
Swiper's been collapsed on. He's been here before. Does he burn the ultimate to get out? He does, but they just block it with everyone. Now he flashes the other way. He's just trying to live for as long as possible. FBI is not taking up the turret. That's actually on a creep, and he will get out. Meanwhile, Swiffer's been caught. Has to use his flashes, trying to run as quickly as possible. That is going to be the ultimate use. That is such a big shield. He's going to actually kill Destiny. Can he deal with Ryoma as well? He just lives on the back end. That ultimate doesn't hit, but it's a 1-for-1 trade, and the Order lineup has broken the base.
They break the base with the Baron. FBI barely doesn't pick up the trade kill. Swiffer in a 1v3 takes down a member. It's just the sign right now. Raze is around full HP. Does not have heal.
They grab the Bip immediately. They stun him up. They burn him down. And they see Azir in the top lane. They're going to look to end this game. Swiper, huge knock-up. Raze is trying to put out the damage. That's a Cosmic Radiance. Will just save Spooks' life. However, he is so low, as you mentioned. Misses there with the knock-up, and Raze will continue the chase. In goes Ryoma. FBI forced to flash. Raze goes in, gets stunned, gets blown up. Tally on the back line, uses that stopwatch you talked about, picks up Ryoma, and now with 3 members dead, just a support and top laner, 1 Nexus turret is all that stands between Order and victory.
And that was such a ballsy play by Tally. Actually flashes into the Azir, and they might be able to end.
Yeah, right now they have the teleport coming in. Big. In goes Destiny. TP will be channeled. Spooks is taking up the turret. Will not fall down because he gets the shield. In comes Swiffer.
Babip's up.
Babip is back up and available. 30 seconds left on the carries. They have no Baron. You feel like they've maybe pushed this one as far as it can be pushed, but they have a wave. In goes Destiny one more time. They're just toying with him. 10 seconds left on Raze. Swiffer picks up 1 kill. He's looking for the second, but he won't be able to find it. But what he will find is revenge. Order will pick up the 2-1 victory over the Chiefs.
And they can do it. That's the turnaround there. Spooks is looking pretty happy with that one against his old rivals there. Played for the Chiefs for so many years. as did Swiffer, and they just turn around, beat the counterparts. Not to mention Rogue and FBI versus Ryoma. So many ties between all these players, and Order pick themselves up a victory. It doesn't influence the top of the ladder. They are locked in their positions, but confidence going into the gauntlet.
They beat a top 4 team.
They did. They did, and that's rough for the Chiefs, especially after the game 1. And they come in game 2, turn around the Anivia composition, just so good from Order. Game 3, lose that one as well. And Chiefs are a team that, well, both these teams are pub stompers. They've gone through the league, they're just 2-0, 2-0, 2-0. And then Chiefs, they're the kind of team that just explodes that victory. So coming game 2 and 3, losing, that has to hurt.
Yeah, it certainly does. And I think that the thing for the Chiefs was game 1 looked so damn good. I mean, we talked about a 30-minute victory off the end of a Baron that took 5 turrets in like legitimately 3.5 minutes. Like when they had the advantage, they pushed it. Game 2, they got the advantage, however, and they slowed down. I mean, this is a team that I honestly think can play between like a 10 and a 6 at the moment. They are so damn good when they're good, but those inconsistencies against a team like Direwolves, because Order's got inconsistencies as well, obviously have to hand out the critiques equally. But I think Direwolves now sit back and say, we are still the best team in the league because we are the consistent team in the OPL.
And that's the thing, because they've just been sitting there watching this game, the other 2 top 3 teams fighting it out. But that was super interesting from Chiefs game 3. I feel like they lost a lot of their mojo. The confidence was gone. You were talking about what's the anti-like confidence composition, things like that. But they just didn't really make those plays early enough in the game. And Tally got to a point on the GP. Swiffer was farming in the sideline. The 1-3-1 just too much for them to handle eventually.
And I think finally we're starting to see some of that versatility that we thought Order would be famous for. You know, early on in the split, they threw all their resources on FBI and said, you can carry. This game, they played into Zyra Rakan and he said, okay, don't die. Do late game damage. They put some into Tally. They put some into Swiffer. And multiple roles of this lineup now starting to step up and starting to do their job.
And that's the thing. We didn't see it game 1, but they gave the Zyra Rakan a second time confidence play, and they actually beat it. Because Chiefs have just been so successful. That's been Destiny's best champion, the Rakan, paired with probably Razor's best champion of the Zyra as well. And now they've shown that they can beat it. That I feel like that's just big going into Gauntlet, irrelevant of the outcome of the game.
Yeah, I think that's big for all teams now going up against the Chiefs. That combo can bleed. However, to hear more about that series, let's throw it over to Laura, Tegan, as well as Swiffer.
Thank you very much, guys. Yes, Tegan and I are joined by Captain of Order, Swiffer. First of all, congratulations.
Hey. Thank you.
And congratulations for ending the Chiefs' winning streak. This was a bit of a hype series. Were you confident coming into it and expecting the 2-1?
We were confident for, I guess, like a couple of our drafts, like the Anivia draft, et cetera, et cetera. But for the most part, like, I mean, 2-0s either way, like, really would have sealed the deal on like seeding and everything. So we were confident coming into it, but I'm confident kind of every week, and you know that hasn't really worked out so far. So confident, but yeah, a little bit apprehensive.
Touching on Anivia, are we going to see it again, or do you think it'll just be banned out from here on?
No, we could definitely see it again. Like, we've been practicing it for quite a while now. But I don't know, man. It's up to the other teams. It's not up to me whether or not we see Anivia again.
Playing against your former team, was there any like specifics going into it? Were you practicing extra hard, or was it just another game?
No, see, like, the thing is, I didn't mind too much whether or not like we lost this game, because when we put this team together and everything like that, like, it would be nice to win the first split and everything like that, but we thought that like we would come online more like as the year progressed. So going into this match, like, obviously I wanted to win. I wanted to show that I made the right choice in like going to another team and starting everything up, etc. But they're like playing against like Brandon and Quinn, who I've played against for such a long time, like played with for such a long time. Like, I have nothing but like the utmost respect for them and everything. So they played well, and it didn't really matter.
Fair enough. Lastly for me, going into the gauntlet, we touched on it a little bit earlier ourselves, that you sort of already prep in terms of practice is long hours. It's not prepping best of threes. You're generally playing best of fives or just long series in practice. Does your practice change going into the gauntlet into best of fives, or is it just the same thing?
We haven't really spoken about it too much. We haven't, as a team, gone into any best of fives yet. But I think that every person on our team has been in a best of five before, and I think that bringing everyone together from different teams and everything like that, we are able to like kind of filter out what worked for us and what didn't, and like have a large array of things to draw upon. So like, we'll try and filter out like what doesn't work for us when training for a best of five and what does. And I think that the way that it might pan out is that like we'll probably just be doing like a best of, like, we'll probably continue the blocks and everything, like the 3-game blocks and everything. And then when we want to try and simulate a best of 5, like we'll have dedicated blocks to that as well, with like limited break time in between.
Well, Swiffer, you are locked into the 3rd seed of the gauntlet coming up. The team has gone 7-3 throughout the split. I know you were just talking about how you weren't aiming necessarily to be the top of the ladder in split 1, but how do you feel about the team's performance so far this split?
I'm really happy with how we've progressed. Like from week 1, when we were kind of getting like, I mean, like you guys aren't privy to this, like kind of trashed by like every team in scrims, to like now where we can hold our own and everything. I'm very excited to see like what our ceiling looks like as like everything continues. But yeah, no, I'm very happy with our team's performance.
I'm sure,
especially in like the last couple of weeks.
I'm sure there's many people watching that are super excited that you picked up this series against the Chiefs. Is there anything you'd like to say to your fans or supporters watching on today?
I just want to say thank you to everyone who has followed the OPL and us and like our journeys and everything. And without you guys, like we wouldn't be here doing what we really love. So just thanks to you guys. Cheers.
That's so sweet. Before you go, though, we do have a question that's come in for our Ask T-Gun segment, but I think it'd be cool to get your answer on it as well while you're here. It comes in from Archangel on Twitter, who asks, what is the ultimate bot lane synergy in your opinion?
Do you want to go first or do you want me?
You can go because I've got no idea.
You can't steal my answer.
Give me like a minute to think about this.
There's 2, all right? If you're talking skin duos created by Riot, it's Rakan Zaya with the duo skins. If you're not, it's Piltover Customs and Pizza Delivery Siva, because you're a very fast blitzcrank, and that's all there is to it.
You put so much thought into that.
There's no thought into it. It's a solved question.
Is it solved?
Yes.
Okay, fine. I actually really like when like nothing matches. So like when you have chromas of different colors and stuff, like I think that's great because everyone with OCD just goes absolutely ballistic. And I've played with my fair share of OCD supports. So, yeah, no, that's my answer on that.
You're a chaotic man,
I am
Swiffer, but congratulations on the win. Looking forward to seeing you in the gauntlet coming up. We're going to go to a break, but when we get back, we're going to have our 2nd series of the day between Sin and Textonic.
So much damage, but he pushes Swiffer onto his team. Ultimate will come down and will get there just in time. But all hell has broken loose. Raze on the back end is doing so much damage. Tally finally joins, is looking for Ryoma. We'll be able to pick him up and the fight will continue. Raze is out of dodge. Swiper is so incredibly tanky, but no flash is available, and eventually he will be cut down, and it will be a 2 for 3. Ultimate has been dropped. They run in, they grab Rakan, and he is gone. Engage threat no longer there, and 4 members get into that Rise ult we spoke about, and they're able to pick off Raze. 2 members dead, and Order is looking to continue the fight. Well, that is going to be the ultimate use. That is such a big shield. He's going to actually kill Destiny. Can he deal with Ryoma as well? He just lives on the back end. In goes Ryoma, FBI forced to flash, Raze goes in, gets stunned, gets blown up, Tally on the back line, uses that stopwatch you talked about, picks up Ryoma, 10 seconds left on Raze, Swiffer picks up 1 kill, he's looking for the 2nd, but he won't be able to find it, but what he will find is revenge. Order will pick up the 2-1 victory over the Chiefs.
Honestly, the first time Mr. Vanguarder and my teacher, when he offered to start an esports club, I was like, what are you on about, bro? Not in my wildest dreams I would imagine an esports club.
A lot of the boys were like more distant from me, but now we've gotten much closer. Good environment, quite like a family, I guess.
We put it out there and we asked of the year 9 and 10 students who would like to join in. So of the 900 students that we had at the school, we had about 400 want to apply for League of Legends.
With the introduction of an esports team, I finally have a way to represent my school because I'm not really one to play any other traditional sports.
Clubs being in schools have definitely improved my attendance rate, I guess.
Gaming is perceived still in society as a antisocial behaviour, that it's done by people who just sit by themselves in a dark room, you know, living still with their parents at the age of 30, and they're sitting down there playing games. There's still that stigma, there's still that perception that gaming is an antisocial. For me, the biggest thing is to show parents and everyone, hey, that is not a gamer nowadays. If anything, a gamer is more involved with other people around the world, communicating with them through these games than ever before.
I really think that esports will continue to grow in schools. It's more, maybe like most teachers accept the fact that sports come in different kind of areas.
You've got millions of people who are going to be watching the World Finals for League of Legends. So many people. What we did as children isn't what our grandchildren are going to be doing. Life changes, things change. Our students like it, our children like it, and it's something that's going to be coming into schools.